Hey Ryan, how you doing?
Terrific. How are you?
Are you really terrific, or are you just saying you're terrific?
What's the fucking difference?
I don't know. I gotta find out. I haven't talked to you for a while. I gotta find out what the fucking difference is.
No difference. We're just squeezing in another show.
Yep. I don't even know what to start with. It's been a little while since we did one, and I apologize to the crowd for that.
The crowd.
Yes, the crowd.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's not much that's been happening other than unless you're a celebrity apprentice person, then you are relieved and you can finally sleep at night that fucking dick Geraldo lost.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to sleep if he won. I don't
Geraldo
know.
would keep you up at nights.
Jesus Christ, man. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. The deal with this guy is, and I hope there's listeners out there, and even though Ryan doesn't think we have any, we have a lot of
There's
listeners.
got to be, because Donald Trump says it's the #1 show in America.
I don't know about that either. Do you believe that it's that popular?
Fuck no. Yes, I know it was. It's one of the top shows, that's for sure.
Yeah, but this season, I wonder if it dropped off.
This season, it had to have dropped off. Other than, the only way it would have been more than the past years, which were really good, was all the talk about what a fucking asshole Geraldo is, and people probably wanted to see what all the hype was about.
Yeah, for anybody that didn't watch the show, we did get to see exactly who Geraldo Rivera is in real life, not on his TV life, and this guy is a fucking mess.
God, never have I seen a more, how do you word it? Narcissistic, ego-blown, self-centered, jack of all trades, master of fuck. This guy, oh my God.
Yeah.
Whew.
Jack of all trades, jack of all asses, that guy is.
My
that guy.
God.
And at the end of this show, they had the former contestants on, and Gilbert Gottfried spelled it out the best. And you tell us what he said, Ryan.
Well, now, if y'all are reality show folks like we are, you know that all the reunion shows is when everyone vents their grievances and it all comes out. Well, not on this one, because everyone's awesome and everyone did an awesome job and everyone was terrific, and that's Donald Trump said that so many times I wanted to throw up. But when you watched the show and you saw the little individual interviews, these people couldn't fucking stand him. But on the reunion show, everyone has so many nice things to say about him, except Gilbert. He was the only one that piped up and said when he asked Donald Trump asked Gilbert, "Who do you think's going to win?" Well, I they're both great. Just ask Geraldo; he'll tell you himself. That summed it right up.
That sort of was what he said. He was even harsher than that in my memory. He said, "What do you think of Geraldo?" And he said, "I love Geraldo. He's a great guy. He's an amazing human being. Just ask him. He'll tell you himself."
Yeah, something like that.
Because he was talking specifically about Geraldo, because Geraldo cannot go 5 seconds without him saying how great he is.
Oh my God! And
he called himself an icon on the show.
Yes.
Who calls themselves an icon?
Ridiculous. And if you watch the work that he actually did on the show, I've watched every season, and there's some people out there that are talented beyond what they are known for.
The winner, Lisa Gibbons.
Well, yes, Lisa Gibbons. In the past, Penn Jillette. Who was the one country guy, Rich? He always wore the black hat.
I forgot what
that guy. Everyone was surprised with how sharp and intuitive Bret Michaels was.
How about Joan Rivers?
Joan Rivers, the person that Joan Rivers beat Annie Duke. There's so many people that were so talented beyond what they're known for. And when you watch what Geraldo did, he just sucked at everything. There's
I thought
never
so too.
been.
I thought he fucked everything up.
There's never been a more fake host, like when he did that Universal commercial in the final episode. I mean, he can't talk with any sincerity. It's just, he's awful.
Yeah, he is terrible.
That's just all
of his
I can
ideas
say.
Sucked. All of his musical ideas sucked.
When they did, when they did the one musical one, he said, "Well, I can say, I can do it all. I can do La Bamba, I can do Spanish, I can do Latino, I can do rock. I can do it all." You are a news person, you dick. You cannot sing. You have no rhythm at all.
He was barely passable when he sang the chock full of nuts jingle.
Yeah, barely.
I know, and that's just because it's a fucking jingle, and anybody could, a 3-year-old could have sang it, and it would have been okay.
In the one task when they had to do a spread for Cosmopolitan, the young person's modern fashion, modern sex magazine, and they've got all these hot people out there because there was some workout tie-in. All these hot people doing photo spreads, and what's he come out there with? His fucking biker brief shorts, his dark socks, and no shirt, lifting 8-pound hand weights. Oh, I'm comfortable with my body. I feel you are not going to be in that shoot, you fucking lump of goo.
I know. He looked like one of those. Like when you watch the documentaries on jungle life from National Geographic, he looked like one of the old apes.
Right.
That were coming out there. With he had like his whole front was just one big curve, like an ape.
Yeah.
And he just looked like an idiot.
He's just awful.
Terrible.
And so I got to the point of where, I would tape it, and then when his face was on the screen, I would 2-arrow fast forward it until I saw someone else's face.
You're highly technical in your descriptions.
Shut up.
I'm gonna 2-arrow fast forward.
Fucking shut up. That's tech talk for hitting the button twice.
It is. Yeah, hit the button twice. Yeah, I mean, I agree. That guy, he sort of ruined the show.
Because if I hit the button only once, it went by too slow, and I saw too much of his face. So I had to double hit it because that's how awful he was.
I agree. I'm glad he lost. I'm glad she won. But, there it was. I think they kept him on there a little bit longer than they should have because he's controversial, and that's what they like. And he mentions that at the end in his speech about his value.
Yeah, he did.
That he was giving everybody good TV with all of his shitty, dumbass remarks. Hey, you think we'll be able to get away with titling this show Geraldo Rivera Sucks?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll allow me to advertise.
Well, put up there, Ryan thinks Geraldo sucks.
No, not that. I'm not worried about the opinion. I'm worried about, like, for instance, if I push it on Facebook, sometimes it might not meet the content rules, and maybe the word sucks might not.
Then don't put sucks. Put a different word that means sucks.
Right. What do you think that should be?
Geraldo inhales massively.
Geraldo stuck to the mirror.
or Geraldo, not all he's cracked up. Something. Just put that
not
up
all
there.
He's cracked up to be.
Whatever, dude. Just put that out there because I just want someone to see it.
This could be good. Just if I name it, Geraldo Rivera is the worst.
That's it. That's perfect. Because I can only pray that it gets forwarded and somehow I could die happy if he actually saw that.
Yeah, right. Let alone listen to it. You've already called him every bad name you could think of.
That's all right.
Fucking Geraldo, you are an idiot.
God.
This is what it makes me do. The way he acted on that show made me question his journalistic ability as well, because I kept thinking, how could he write all these great exposés and have this great career in journalism when he's such an obvious idiot?
Right.
So is somebody writing for him, and all he is like your local news people. They don't write any of the stories. They just sit there, and there's words that scroll by on the screen. It's the teleprompter, and they read it off. Was his deal that he was sent out in the field all the time with a real journalist who just gave him things to say?
Well, it had to be, because
that's what I'm starting to think, because that guy is not a genius.
No, I mean the only That one thing that kind of shadowed how awful he was on this show is when he did the Al Capone vault thing. I mean, that was such a flop.
Yeah.
When I look in my own vault and find nothing, it's fucking 10 times more exciting than that whole show that he did about his vault.
Your vault.
Yeah, I mean, I add a little flair to it, way more than he did.
Right. I can imagine that.
But it's I was prepared to not watch next season if he won, but now I will watch again because he didn't win.
I might watch it, but the thing that wrecked this whole season for me was the whole double episode nights.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
Didn't like it at all.
I got tired of the show. After the first one, I got tired of watching it.
Right.
I'd rather have it be once a week where I don't have to be, subjected. Right. And it might have just been that it was so shitty this year, too. I don't know, maybe.
That's true, because...
maybe that tells me something. I don't know.
Well, I knew it was an awful season when on the second to last week, the first hour was all top 5 clips over the past years, like top 5 firings, top 5 projects, top 5 fundraisers, top 5 arguments, and it was more interesting rewatching those clips than the entire season was this year.
Yeah, I skipped that show too, so I probably missed the best show of the season.
Yeah,
the recap show of other seasons.
For me, that was the best show. Because it brought back all the memories from those good seasons where I could not wait to get to next week to watch the new episode.
Right. Yeah, this was a dragger.
And I'll tell you, half of those people were out because of Geraldo's bullshit, his lying, and his underhanded play. Kevin Jonas, who I thought should have been in the finals, he got screwed from Geraldo the very first or second show.
Right.
When Geraldo was obviously the worst one, but he, turned the tables, played dirty, and whatever. But thank God it's over, is what I have to say.
Yeah, the classically worst person, though, was Kenya, right? She
Yeah.
fell in line with that classic kind of bad apprentice chick.
Yeah. Wasn't she a Miss America?
I don't know what she is.
I think she was.
Was she one of those housewives of
Yeah,
Atlanta?
she was one of the housewives. But prior to that, she was a Miss America in the past.
I don't know, but I do know that she was an asshole, too. They should have just put her and Geraldo in a room together and let them fight it out.
Oh, God.
Who's the biggest asshole?
Yeah, that was another episode that I had to just turn it off when her and Vivica Fox were fighting, just screaming at the same time.
Yeah.
I just had to turn it off.
I kind of like that, though.
It just drove me crazy.
That was the one bright spot in the season for me because at least something was happening. Because the whole phone stealing, that's the whole deal. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
You stole my phone and tweeted, and I'm thinking she had to have.
Well, yeah, someone did. Or like that blonde...
Yeah, like she said. Yeah, it
blonde
must have been
girl
part of her
said,
entourage.
It could have been... She might have... Of course, it would have been her plan, but...
Yeah. That's why she can say she didn't do it.
Right,
and
exactly.
say she's not lying, because she didn't. It was,
she had
her hairdresser.
Who else would have? What, a fucking cameraman's going to steal a phone and risk his job and do that? Fuck no, it had to be her or one of her people. It's just that simple.
Yeah, and you know what I thought was suspicious? The fact that they had cameras rolling that whole time for the show, and you didn't see them look at any of the footage to show where,
right,
any evidence. So my guess is that they knew who did it, and they're not going to wreck the chick's career by exposing her.
Well, I thought it was
because she'll just try and sue them and everything.
It was a given right from that boardroom on that episode where that Kenya girl brought up the hints of what was the
menopause?
The menopause.
Thing, yeah.
She brought up, I've been dealing with her mood swings, so she was leading into it.
Yeah.
With her statements to get to that point.
Yeah. And people don't know what we're talking about,
right.
But there was a tweet put out by what's the girl's name? She's another super famous.
The old chick.
Yeah.
Vivica Fox.
Yeah, Vivica A. Fox, right? Wasn't that her name in the old days?
I guess.
Anyway, she, this Kenya chick started harping on her about a menopause situation, and she's saying, why would you bring that up in public? Why on this TV show would you talk about menopause?
Well,
as an excuse. Well, I saw a tweet. Yeah.
So it was all a setup. Of course,
and
it
as
was
it
done
turns
by her.
out, I think everybody who would watch the show would agree with us that she had somebody take Vivica Fox's phone and tweet a little comment about menopause that she would never do.
Right.
Because it's not part of. And I like the fact that Trump's kid was saying, I read through all these tweets. This doesn't sound like anything you would ever tweet. It's not even in the ballpark. So,
Right.
Yeah, so that was a little controversy.
It was it was goofy as far as that goes. It was far more Jerry Springer-esque than actual good work and creativity like past seasons have been. That's what I'm basically getting at.
Well, there you go. You got that one in the books. It's done now.
All right, thank God.
No more fun. Let's move on to something far more entertaining.
What's next?
Your Horrible Life is always entertaining for the fans.
Fuck them.
We had a couple of people who a couple of listeners talked about it, and they said that their favorite part was the part where Ryan's life sucks because it makes their life a lot better.
It doesn't help me
at all. Just knowing that. But something I forgot to tell you, that there's a listener theory out that's floating in the world out there.
Really?
It's entitled Ryan is the Coyote. That's who you are. You're the Coyote from the Roadrunner and the Coyote.
What genius came up with this?
Guess.
I don't fucking know.
Of course it was Davin. I think it was Davin that said that. Ryan's the fucking Coyote.
Like every time, listen, stick to your cappuccinos and let the misery stay with the professionals, okay?
He's got a point, though. Think about it. Every time you got your plan all set up to move forward in life, bam, hit by a train.
I stopped moving forward a long time ago. Now I'm just standing here and it's just falling on me.
You are the Coyote. You're floating in midair looking down, wondering why you're not falling.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just holding a tiny little toy umbrella as the rock's crashing on me.
Exactly. What else did we find out? We found out that I'm a dick. I don't know if you were aware of this.
Since you were in the 3rd grade.
I had a thing happen at work. I've been doing this long-ass auto show tour, and I had a moment, a revelation, a moment where I recognized what a dick I am. And it's not always. I mean, I try not to be, but I don't know if I told you about this, Ryan. We have the system where when we're putting together all this equipment and stuff, it all comes in boxes. And what happens is when the boxes are empty, you send them back out with the forklift drivers, and they go and they put them wherever they put them. But you put an empty sticker on it so you know it's empty, right?
Right.
So I'm working, and this other coworker of mine was getting on my nerves like crazy, and we can't talk about this yet, but we will in the future. Driving me nuts because the guy just is really hard to deal with. And one of these laborers comes around the corner and says, "Hey, what are these lids for?" And I went, "What?" And he goes, "What are these lids for out here?" And I said, "Show me what you're talking about." And I walk around the corner, and he's looking at these 2 lids that go to our cases. And he goes, "I'm taking the empties out. I just want to know what these are for." And I just look at him, and I go, "Do you see any empty stickers on them?" And he goes, "Nope." And I go, "Well, then they're not for you."
Oh, like man, that. Oh, man.
And right then I thought to myself, I just looked at myself in life and just went, I'm a fucking dick.
Oh, man.
Why would I say that? That's horrible. That guy didn't deserve any of that.
That was pretty condescending right there.
It was, and that's what and I try really hard not to be that person.
Oh, Jesus
but I was so wired up.
I can't picture that at all.
Well, and I don't normally do it especially the guy wasn't being a jerk himself, really. He was just wanting to get his job done, and I was just so frustrated. I just took it out on that guy.
Oh my God.
And I tried to smooth it out and make jokes and apologize right away, but he wasn't having any of that. He was just like, he goes, "I'm allowed to ask, you know." And yes, you certainly are. I'm just joking around. No, he's like, "No, you weren't."
Oh, man. You must have said it with some conviction because he wasn't falling for the "I'm joking" bit.
I said it exactly the way I just told you.
Oh,
they have empty stickers on them? Nope. Well, then they're not for you.
Oh, good grief, man. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so that happened.
That's pretty good.
And now I have to live with that. But I mean, let's
well,
talk
at least
a little.
At least you're not getting sued by a towing company, so you got that going for you.
No, this was this was another highlight in my boring auto show day. That it was the same job that happened to. I'll tell the story. I call Ryan to find out when we're going to do a show, and Ryan sounds tired and normal and just goes, I don't know. I go, what's been going on? I haven't heard anything. What's going on in your life? And he's saying, no, nothing. Just working, going up to the college. Really not much, just hanging around. And I go, no tragedies, no catastrophes. No, not really. Well, I am getting sued for the car that I wrecked that's still at the impound yard. And I'm like, you mean to tell me that your life sucks so bad that getting sued isn't even on the radar anymore?
Doesn't even faze me.
Doesn't even come up.
Because they're not getting a penny, and I don't care. But
and it was a serious. You weren't even setting me up for a joke. That was normal conversation.
Yeah, that was
just didn't even come into your mind until you had to think for a while about the shitty stuff to find out that getting sued might be mentionable.
Right. That's how it is. Because at the time I was dealing with the state treasury on my sales tax crap. So
which they're increasing, by the way.
Well, I heard they're still talking about it.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I don't
matter.
know.
I don't.
They're lobbying for that. Yeah.
I barely pay them anyways, but yeah, the car thing. So when this fucking idiot wrecked my car on November 29th and changed my life forever.
Yeah.
So I get taken away from the scene while my car is still a pile of rubble in the street.
Yes.
And so I'm in the back of the cop car, and he's keeping me warm, and all he did was give me the little card with the case number on it and said, call your insurance and give them the case number. That was that. Yeah. I didn't get a card from the towing company. I didn't get told where the towing company was, who they were. I didn't get anything. So I go back to work. I call the insurance like I'm supposed to, even though it didn't matter because I only had PLPD on the car, so it's lost. So I'm waiting around because I'm assuming that someone's going to tell me where my fucking car is.
Right.
Well, a few days go by and it doesn't happen. Then the insurance calls and says, well, if you send us some pictures of the car, we can try to at least get you $1,000 from this dude, even though you didn't have coverage, you only had PLPD. I said, well, the police told me that you take the case number that I gave you and you go and do it. So I've been waiting to hear from you. Oh, no, you have to. So now I'm like, well, I got to find out where the hell the car is. So I call the police station. They tell me, oh, it's at Westland Car Care. I'm like, well, that's odd because the accident was in Garden City, so I would never guess that.
Yeah.
So I call I go to the Westland Car Care because I got to get some stuff out of my car, and the lady says, well, you can't go in your car. You owe $680. And I said, for what? Well, it's been sitting here at $32 a day. I said, I can rent a car for less than that. I said, I'm not paying you $680. I don't have $680.
I actually would have thought it'd be more, to tell you the truth. But
well, it is anyway, now. It's in the thousands because I let it sit there.
I thought it was more than that daily. But
so I get my crap out of there, and then that was the end of it. And so now I sent them the title, but now they're going to sue me for the balance of that after they scrap the car, which you can sue anyone you want, but collecting's a different story. They'll never get a penny. I'll never pay them.
Yeah. Cost them more to file. Actually, I doubt if they'll even sue you. It costs you more than that to file the paperwork, I would have thought.
Right. So while that was going on, I get a call from the state, and they said, yeah, it's a state treasury, your sales tax. I'm like, oh, I just sent some 3 weeks ago, and my other coupons for the other quarters. Mm-hmm. And he says, well, we don't have record of that. Oh, yeah, I see. He goes, do you have record of the check being cashed? I'm like, let me get my bank statement. Oh, I do. It was the very last check cashed of January. So there you go. He goes, oh, yeah, I see it. It's on the Michigan State page. He said, well, what I need you to do is get a copy of the front and back of the check and send it to us because we have to give it to collections. And I said, I sent it to collections. That's who I mailed it to. Here's the address, collections, P.O. Box 30199. Well, they put it under here instead. So, see, according to the thing here, they've got slated to lien your account because they think you haven't paid. And I said, you're looking at a screen that says I paid. Can't you just call the guy in the next office and show him the screen?
Right, yeah.
Well, no, you know, it's going to be faster if you go to the bank and get a front and back copy and mail it to us. Mail it to collections, P.O. Box 30158. I go, that's only 41 boxes from the one I sent it to. It's got to be on the same row.
It just baffles me that they can't communicate with their own collection department faster than you can.
Right. So he goes, yeah, it probably is. But I said, so you can't just call the guy and show him it's on that screen and push two buttons and move the number to where I sent it to and they put it on the wrong screen? So I was dealing with that. That's why the towing thing didn't even fucking register.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not paying them and they can't do anything to me.
Too much bad shit going on at once.
The state can do things to you.
What do you think they can do to you?
Well, A, they can lien my account and shut it off.
I was hoping for more conspiratorial stuff.
Well, I got nothing.
I was hoping for things like they can send the Illuminati to get me.
Oh yeah, I've got nothing else for them to take, but yeah, they can do stuff. But the towing company, they can't do anything. I mean, if I don't pay them, I don't pay them. Who cares a shit?
Right. They're not going to bother you.
No, they got the title now. I mailed them the title, and now maybe they'll just... I mean, because as long as I had the title, then it was my car sitting in the yard. Now that they have the title, now it is their car, and they can
scrap it.
Scrap it and whatever, so...
And everybody will be happy, except for you,
it's all
like usual.
All in a day's bullshit, you know.
I got an important question to ask you right now.
Oh, boy.
Are you ready for this?
I don't know.
Would you mind if I took out some life insurance on you?
Suicide nullifies all life insurance.
I was already thinking about a clause in there for suicide. I might pay the higher rate.
I was going to say, you'll pay through the nose for it, but it'll probably be well worth the dividend.
Because you're a pretty organized guy. You could probably schedule it out for me. Maybe.
Sure, of course I could. Yeah. I've got all kinds of ways mapped out. to make Jordan a millionaire. So yeah, it's you know, one more phone call from someone who fucks up my paperwork, and that'll be the end of it.
I know, and we're all over here freaking laughing about it, but you just wait.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
No, not we, me and you. We're sitting here laughing about it. And you watch what happens after you inevitably commit suicide, and then they try and get the raw tapes for evidence.
Well, you'll be the first one to know because you're the only person I talk to. So
yeah, I doubt it. I think your family would know before me.
Oh, well, my mom would. Jordan wouldn't know because she's at school and I only hear from her when she needs money. I'm teasing Jordan.
I know. You think she'd come back for the funeral? I think she's too busy.
She might have a competition.
Right. I'll just schedule it around her competitions.
She is coming home this weekend, so it'll be a fun weekend. I'm going to Birch Run up by Frankenmuth and watching her compete, and then we're driving back to Alma to get all of her clothes and then driving her home because she's got winter breaks. So
yeah, for the out-of-state listeners, he'll be driving all around Michigan.
Yep.
Well, speaking of fun weekends, Ryan.
A lot of people know Frankenmuth, though.
Yeah, that's I think that's a national type place that people, what do they call that? Like,
it's the Christmas capital of the world.
Yeah, a lot of people from around the country will go visit Frankenmuth. Old German-style town with lots of Christmas and fried chicken and German food and stuff.
It's such a cool place, folks. If you're in Michigan, it's right in the middle of Michigan. Go to Frankenmuth. You will love it.
It's a great weekend. And speaking of great weekends,
man, you know what that just sounded like?
Real show? It sounded like a real show for once.
No, that sounded like Geraldo doing a task.
I know, and that's what I'm doing.
Jesus.
You ready? This This is the first time this is going to happen. I'm going to try this out. Tell me how much you hate this. Speaking of fun weekends, no, I'm not reading it up.
I hate it.
Friend of the show, comedian Mark Knope. He's going to have some shows coming up next weekend. I just wanted to make sure people knew about it in case they want to go. On the 27th, Captain Joe's in Whitmore Lake. And on the 28th, Portofino's in Wyandotte, Michigan. Both Michigan shows. He's a great comedian. You'd love this guy, Ryan. We're going to probably end up having him on as a guest when we find, when we build more, and then we can bring it in. Because that's his deal. That's his job. He's a comedian.
Right.
He's a professional.
Well, I can watch some of his clips on YouTube, I'm sure, after we get done with this, right?
You certainly could. I'm sure he's on there. In fact, it's www.knope.com, which is spelled Knope.
Gotcha.
And, if anybody's interested, check this guy out. He's really funny. He's been doing it forever. He used to be around back when I was doing it, back in the 90s. That's when he was probably starting. And maybe not. He's been around for a while. But he's hilarious. Everybody should go see that guy.
Oh, well, and then in tune with that, one of our past guests, I'm going to see his show this Friday. Ricky Rat is back in town from Indianapolis. And,
yeah, I saw that. And he got the special guest super punk icon guy with him this time?
They're opening for Cheetah Chrome.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then the other trash, Tony... Romeo, the bass player from the Trash Brats, his band Easy Action is playing first, and then Ricky Rat Pack, and then Cheetah Chrome. So I'm going to that show with a friend of mine this Friday at Smalls. So that's another past guest of ours that's going to be in town. And if you're into the good old rock and roll punk rock gig, then this is going to be an awesome show.
Always is, isn't it?
It is. Ricky just puts on a great show. I was talking to him on Facebook this past week. He wants a bowling ball. I got a bowling ball for him, so we're going to meet up this weekend. I'm going to drill him up a ball. We're going to have some beers at the bar and yuck it up.
Sounds like good old-fashioned blue-collar fun is what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's going to be
We're going to go listen to some punk rock music with some bowling balls and throw in a couple of Hamtramck punchkis, and you'll be having the perfect weekend.
This is Detroit all the way. So yeah, that's awesome. A couple good shows this weekend going around here, depending on what you like.
You know what I'm doing this weekend?
Working.
Nope, I'm going to die alone in my hotel room.
Well, that is sad.
It sounds sad. That's funny. But that thought entered my mind recently because I started having, I think I told you about this, I started having this weird pain in my thigh in the middle of the night. It felt like someone stabbing me, and then it got like all hot and cold at the same time and completely numb.
Maybe it's just a rash.
No, and since then I went to the doctor, and he says it's a pinched nerve situation.
I don't see how a pinched nerve would make a thigh muscle hurt.
Because that's what that shit does. It's not a skin thing. The pinched nerve, it's just like your sciatic nerve, and people, their Lego collapse when you try and get out of the car or something. It affects your muscles.
But did you feel anything out of place in your back or no?
No. But I lost 16 pounds. I'm sure things are shifting.
I mean, good God, because see, actually, after you left the other day telling me this, what went through my head was, you've been sleeping and you were gone for like a month and a half, sleeping in hotel beds. I just wondered if you got a rash from something or something like that.
No, because it's all internal.
Oh,
numb.
There was no marks. There was no redness.
No, nothing. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for bruising or anything because it was really sore. It's now kind of gone away in a way. Comes back a little bit, but at the time I'm in bed thinking it's a blood clot. I know it's a blood clot, and I'm going to die from it. It's going to go to my heart and kill me. And then freaking maid will come in and find my dead body in a hotel room. Isn't that great?
Just put a bed mint right on your head.
Yeah, save me for the next guest.
Like, you sure you didn't bump into one of the big cases on wheels or something that you know how sometimes you bump into something that you don't realize?
No, that's what I said. That was why it was a mystery. If I could have figured out if I did some real physical damage. It might have made it feel better.
That would have left a bruise anyway, so it wouldn't be
that's what I mean. It was just this mystery where in the middle of the night someone's stabbing me in the leg, and then it turns hot, and then it's cold to the touch at the same time as it's hot.
Now they say
feels like you're burning, but if you touch it, it's numb and cold.
No, but they do say that some, like when my buddy Lee, because he's a diabetic like you, he had lots of skin problems like that, and it was due to diabetic ups and downs,
nerve pains.
Yeah, it was due to his nerve pain. The nerve endings were sensitive due to the spikes and crashes. So
right, but he's type 1 and I'm type 2.
You're both type idiot. I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't have the diabetic nerve pain thing yet. I think that goes with a type 1 type guy. So anyway, I love the idea of being found dead in a hotel room.
Did the pain?
That's great. It chippers me up every time I think of it. What's that?
Did the skin pain come? Did the internal pain come after you posted that picture of you slopping down a pint of Ben & Jerry's, or before?
It was days after, so that wasn't related.
I'm just wondering.
Come on, I lost 16 pounds. I'm allowed to cheat, even though Lindsay blew it up and said that, yeah, but you had ice cream last week, too, on Facebook. But I figure if I'm doing that well, I'm allowed to have a pint of ice cream once in a while.
Dude, ice cream is my weakness, dude. I am telling you.
Are you kidding me?
I've been on a malt kick at home.
And that's why I was getting the chubby hubby Ben & Jerry's, because that's malt ice cream. It's awesome.
Right, and it's an adjective ice cream.
Is it?
Yeah, it's describing you.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Not anymore, though.
No, that's true.
I'm getting less chubby as we go on.
That's true.
Maybe psychologically, I'm trying to lose as much weight as possible so I can eat as much ice cream as I can afterwards to get back up to my goal weight of being a slob.
I mean, I don't eat very much, and I usually, I eat pretty healthy. I eat very little. I don't snack. I don't do the candy thing, cookie thing. You'll never find them in my house. But I cannot pass up a chocolate malt, and now I've been making these super malts at home, dude. Like really the good premium heavy ice cream, a ton of malt powder, and oh my God.
I'm coming over to get one at some point. That's my favorite. I mean, dude, I'd rather have a malt over a milkshake any day.
They're so good. I buy the big thing of malt powder, and I made one for Jordan, and she was like, this is the best malt I've ever had. And now I'm hooked. I swear to God, I have to not buy ice cream, because if there's a half gallon in there, dude, it's gone in 3 days.
Do you always do chocolate, or do you do vanilla malt and chocolate malt?
No, I am the vanilla ice cream, the malt powder, and a bunch of liquid chocolate fudge. That's my thing.
The best of all worlds.
Oh my God. And I don't have any ice cream right now, so now my mouth is absolutely watering, and I don't have any ice cream.
I know. I'm looking at my time here. I still have an hour and 15 minutes where I can run down to the gift shop and buy a $20 Dixie cup full of ice cream from the hotel. Right. Which won't be happening, although I wish I could do it, though.
Do you have is there a store around the hotel there?
Well, yeah, there's a Walgreens down the street and everything, but it's minus 20 degrees out.
Oh, yeah, is it super cold? Where are you at?
Milwaukee.
Oh, God, yeah, you're freezing your balls off right now.
Yeah, actually, I think Michigan is a little bit colder for some reason now.
It warmed up today, though.
What, did it get to be 10 or something?
No, but I mean, it was not 10 and 15 below like it was over the weekend. It was definitely warmer. I could go out with only my hoodie on and not freeze to death.
Yeah, it was freezing here, so maybe you're a little warmer than we are now. Oh, this is coming your way, I think. Because I'm to the west of Detroit, so it's coming your way. Tomorrow here, it's supposed to be another one of these like minus 20 degree days with wind chill. So it's minus to start with, and then wind chill's adding to the minus.
Right.
And fortunately, I don't have to walk outside anywhere if I don't need to. I can walk through a skywalk to the convention center from the hotel.
It was like that here this past weekend. I'm sure Lisa told. Oh no, you were home.
I left on Sunday.
Oh, okay. So because the last few days was 10 below zero here, and when you went out, like your fingers instantly hurt. Like it felt like they were on fire, but it's because they're freezing. It was that fucking cold out.
Yeah. Well, our hot water heater died.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, day before yesterday.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, well, I didn't tell anybody. Lisa didn't say anything online. Usually she'd say something like that. She sent me a text that said, day one without Jerry. Lindsay's car won't start. Hot water heater died.
Oh, my God. But the furnace is working, but you have no hot water.
Right, no hot water. So we had to have the whole thing replaced today. Yesterday. Yesterday evening they finally got around to doing it.
That's a couple thousand, right?
Not when you're renting.
You're renting a hot water heater?
No, the house. We don't have to pay for it.
Oh, that's right. You're a renter.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot.
Right. I'd love to buy that house. Lisa doesn't like it, but
she doesn't like that house.
No, because it's too.
She's
utilities
a
are
fucking
high,
nut.
and most people love that house, but she's just not into it that much. I don't think she likes the fact if we could close off the upstairs and not heat it, then it would be nice, and then you just open it up when visitors come in and need the spare rooms and stuff.
Well, yeah, people do that all the time. Why don't you do that?
We can't though, because we have one of those cathedral ceilings that goes up to the upstairs like a loft.
Oh.
So they opened up their what would be known as the living room area. They took the ceiling out and made it go all the way up to the hallway that connects both ends of the upstairs.
Well, you could block the vents in those rooms up there, and that helps.
Yeah, but there's a lot of open spaces up there.
She doesn't you guys have the best house in Garden City, and she doesn't like it. I want to just drive right down the road and slap her right now because you guys have the best house in the city.
Good evening, Lisa. Smack. Yeah, right.
God, I'm living in literally.
You have the same house we all grew up in, so there's nothing wrong with that house either.
Like if you go to like an apple orchard, they got the pen with the animals, and it's just full of like grass and dirt and animals. Mine is like that, but it has walls and windows.
I thought you were going to say, mine is like that, but the apple orchard pens are much nicer.
Yeah, right.
Oh, come on. Hey, when I talked about Mark Knope, one of the things that I forgot to tell you was I had this new deal I started. When you live in hotels, you have to tip people a lot.
Hello.
Am I there? Can you hear me? What happened?
You just went out,
Oh, I was still going right here. You can hear me, though,
You went out. I did.
Well, it's still recording. So.
Wait, oh, yeah, but when you said the Mark Knope, and then you went out and I heard nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll restate it for you because we're on Skype. It happened with Skype, not our recording. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to worry about that. Anyway.
All right, never mind. Then go on.
Living in hotels, you have to tip people all the time.
Right.
Unless you want to look like an idiot that doesn't tip people. So, I decided to get comp tickets for the auto show to give people. That was my brilliant plan. Like, hey, if the guy that at the FedEx that I have to see to pick up packages all the time, maybe they'll like this instead of a $5 tip. Maybe I'll give them an auto show ticket.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Well, a lot of people ask for them.
Right.
It's funny about the auto show. Detroit, I think people in Detroit have such close ties to the automotive deal that they don't care that much about that show.
Right.
But when you go around the country, people are nuts about this thing.
Right.
They really love it and want to come and see. People line up in Philadelphia, 9 o'clock in the morning. They'll be lined up outside that gate like it's a Saturday.
Right.
And it'll be Wednesday. It's crazy. Anyway, so people ask me for them every once in a while, and then I just went, you know what? I'm going to get a bunch of these tickets, and I'm going to tip some people and make people happy. And I thought I'm going to probably tip the housekeeper. And then I thought again, the housekeeper. She's a housekeeper. Does she want tickets to the auto show? She can't afford to buy a car.
Fuck no.
It's like so
unless she goes through your luggage, then
she's gonna look at that and go, "Where the fuck do you think I work?"
Yeah, right. I don't own this hotel.
This is for people who want to go buy a new car and look at all the models.
Right.
I don't own the hotel. I clean the toilets.
I was just gonna say, how much do you think cleaning toilets is worth nowadays?
Yeah.
Now, so what do you usually leave? Do you leave the housekeeper like a few bucks every day? Because I heard that you're supposed to do it every day because you have different housekeepers during your stay, so you're supposed to tip them on a daily basis.
Yeah, I try and find out, actually. I'll ask them, are you going to be here all week, kind of thing, and I'll tip them $10 or something like that. and then leave it alone for a few days. Or I'll catch him on the other side and go, were you the one cleaning this room? Because usually they have a week person and like a weekend person.
Right.
You know. So I try and get them both. And they don't come in every day here either. Because when I'm setting up the show, though, I'll let them in every day during that. But then when the show's running, it's like every other day.
Right.
'Cause I don't care.
Well, right.
I mean, they just clean. The only thing they really do, because it's not like they come in every day and change your whole sheets and stuff.
Right.
So all they really end up doing is making the bed and giving you fresh towels and emptying your garbage. So,
because whenever we used to be out of town, I didn't need it other than for towels, because it used to drive Paula crazy, because I've got like an OCD thing with the bed to where I have to remake it and line the sheets up the way I like it. So I didn't like.
Is it a different way than other people, or is it just you have to make the bed?
Well, like when they make the bed and you lay in it, the sheets could go like all the way over your head if you wanted. When I'm in bed, I have to have them at their full extent, stop at my chin. So I would
Okay.
So I would redo the bed every time. First thing in the room, Paula would just be ready for it. I'm going to take the bed apart. I'm going to remake it to where the sheets go the way I like them, or else I can't sleep.
Right. So she hated that, huh?
It drove her a little crazy at first, but then she got used to it and she just knew to let me go.
I just live with it. I like the sheets up a little bit farther. So when I climb in the bed, the thing I hate is when they have it so tight at the bottom that your feet are smashed.
Oh yeah, right. Like it cramps your toes.
Right. So I loosen all that up, but I do the same thing. It's surprisingly, because at home I don't make the bed when I get up normally. Sometimes I'll give it a shot, but I'm no good at it. But on the road, I always try and make it every day, because I don't want to sit in a room with an unmade bed. At home, I don't have to sit in the bedroom all day.
Yeah, right.
So I've at times when I live there during the summer, I'll try and do it every day. I might miss one here and there, but on the road every single day I'll make the bed, and probably pisses Lisa off because I won't do it every single day at home.
I do it.
I couldn't do
here.
it right at home anyway. You know,
right?
Her.
Oh, right. Well, that's
it would never be the right way. So.
Right. Paula never cared, because she could literally sleep like under a pile of blankets and it wouldn't matter. And I had to have it a certain way. But I do mine every day because I have to, because I'm gone all day. And if I don't, then all the dogs and the cats will I'll come home and they're all on my bed. Well, I don't want them on my sheets with their hair and stuff. So I make my bed every day so they're on top of it.
Yeah, well, that's protection for you. You know, you show up with a beard at work, not knowing what happened.
Dude,
why do you have a beard from cat fur?
If I go 2 days without shaving, then yes, I can lay on the top of my bed and there'll be just a ton of cat hair in my beard. It is the fucking grossest thing ever.
It's lovely.
If you could see me right now, I'm on the couch, and all 4 animals are laying on the couch sleeping with me.
You just ruined it. Everybody thinks we're in a professional studio. No, I'm just kidding.
You just said Skype 2 seconds ago.
I know. I'm just joking with you. But now we're introducing the fact that we're lazy slobs. I have this chair, like it's not like a recliner, but it's a pretty comfortable little chair for a hotel room. Like I have this shoved up in front of the computer desk, and I'm sitting in that. Because you could rearrange your furniture in the hotel room if you want.
That's true.
So I do.
Very nice.
But anyway, that's it. What did we miss? We didn't miss very many big news stories. We missed Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston's kid ended up dying.
Didn't even hear about it.
Oh, you didn't?
Nope.
You know how Whitney was found in the bathtub?
Didn't even know that either.
Whitney Houston?
I know she died, but I didn't know where they found her. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, she got found in a bathtub. Her kid, Bobby Christina, was found in a bathtub too. And then she died on the anniversary of her mom's death. So, I mean, it seems fairly planned to me, but...
They were very clean drug addicts.
I guess so. I don't know if she was or not. It's sort of a sad story. I think everybody liked the kid. I don't think there was anything, weird about the kid too much. Maybe it was
I've missed most of that stuff because it's been forever since I was on Facebook, and I was on a binge watching excursion for 2 weeks with all the Shark Tanks, so I haven't even had the regular TV on or Facebook on in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll have to do some Shark Tank talk next time because I love that show. Another news story that you might have missed was Brian Williams lied to everybody. Do you know who Brian Williams is?
Well, if you can explain it to me, because then it would make sense, because that was the only joke I didn't get watching the Saturday Night Live 40-year thing.
Okay.
They said something about Brian Williams being on the original cast, maybe or maybe not, and I didn't even understand it at all.
Yeah, years ago, Brian Williams...
We're talking about Beach Boy Brian Williams, right?
No.
Okay.
Brian Williams was the anchor for the NBC News. The big Walter Cronkite guy.
Right, okay.
And he was approaching that kind of a reputation, too. Everybody... I still love the guy. The guy's hilarious. And that's not why you like him as a newsman. You just like him as a person because he could joke around, but then you always felt like he was giving you the straight news.
Right.
And he wasn't fucking around with anything. Well, as it turns out, years ago he said that when he was in Iraq, he said that his helicopter was shot at and it scared everybody. And he told the story on like Letterman and other places. And the news comes out last week that it didn't happen. It happened to the one that was in front of him. So he was just basically lying about that.
Oh, really?
Then they started questioning his Katrina reporting, where he was saying, I saw bodies floating in the streets and it was terrible. And then everybody finds out that the area where he was staying at in his hotel didn't even flood.
Oh, no way.
So now all the jokes are things like there's memes all over the place saying first man on the moon, and it's got a picture of Brian Williams just standing there with no, stuff like
now
that.
It makes sense. Then
Right.
That makes sense.
Lincoln's birthday. They've got that famous picture of Lincoln near the tent at the Civil War, visiting the general, and they got Brian Williams standing around him too.
Well, so you didn't watch the Saturday Night Live 40-year thing?
Not yet. That's on my DVR. I'm going to watch that.
Well, I'm going to spoil one thing for you then.
Well, that's not new.
Man, next show we have to get into that whole deal because I absolutely, and I don't even mean to, but I know I drive you crazy doing that.
You do, yeah. I can't, just so people know what we're talking about a little bit now, I can't, if I'm watching a season of something that happened before that Ryan, or any show that Ryan's already seen before, he, in essence, he tells me the ending every single time. Even when he's trying not to. He tells me, he slips out like little facts that so you kind of know what's going to happen somehow.
Yep, I'm sorry. So,
I'll give it an example. Oh, you're watching that Survivor series? Yeah, Bill, the guy who's outspoken? Yeah. When he was on the next season, or the celebrity, during
he's
the
on
celebrity
All-Stars,
season. Yeah, when he's in the All-Star season, then I'm thinking, well, now I know that he did something.
Right, I did that with Russell Hansen, Boston Rob. Because you didn't know who either of them were, and you said, well, now I know that they become famous enough that means they must go to the end because they're on All-Stars 2 years later. Shut up!
Yeah, and even if they don't go to the end, then you know that they were around long enough to make an impression. So it's already it's that little shit that I can't stop thinking about the whole time I'm watching the show. Anyway, yeah.
So I'm watching the Saturday Night Live thing, which was, okay. I mean, I thought it was going to be funnier, but it was all right.
Was it more of a retrospective show, like showing a bunch of old Chevy Chase skits and stuff like that?
They did show a bunch of the old stuff. That was the good parts when they did that. They had a few live sketches that just weren't funny. They brought out a bunch of the old famous people, and you thought that they were going to do some routine, but they didn't. They just kind of came out and took their bow and said it's great to be here, and then that was the end of it. But there was a few really, really good ones, and one of them was Jerry Seinfeld's part.
Okay.
Where he came out and did a little monologue and was taking questions from the crowd, and all the people in the crowd were famous people doing these comic questions but he said this is what I didn't understand because I didn't know what you had just told me. He said, well, there's a rumor that, the original cast, the famous original cast, not only had the famous people of Chevy Chase and Bill Murray and John Belushi, and there was also Brian Williams. but maybe not.
Right.
I don't think so. That was what he was saying, the joke. And I didn't fucking get it. I didn't know what he's talking about.
Who the hell is he even talking about?
Right, and everyone's laughing and dying, and I don't get it because I haven't watched, anything but Shark Tank for 2 straight weeks, so I have no fucking idea what's happening. But now you just explained it to me, so now it makes sense.
Well, Saturday Night Live is special to our generation because that was it was live. And when it started, it was live without a button that they could delay everything with, because that didn't exist yet, I don't think. And it was the taboo thing. Like if you were a kid in the 70s and you could talk your way into staying up late, you were seeing something special,
right?
Because it was that whole thing. The world was way different. If you think about half the shit you see on TV, they didn't have very much extreme TV at all. Everything was.
Right.
It's almost like every single night. Parental guidance suggested would be something you could show in church right now.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They didn't show you anything back then. But if you watch Saturday Night Live, anything could happen. That's what was cool about that show.
I mean, I mean, some of the more modern casts have done some great, funny, out of the box things. I mean, Adam Sandberg and Justin Timberlake with Dick in the Box, and there's been a lot of fun stuff.
You're gonna catch hell for that. It's Andy Sandberg.
What did I said? Adam.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Yeah.
Mike LeBlanc will write on Facebook how stupid you are.
No, you know why I said that? Because just before we got on, I was looking through Facebook and I was reading a feed from Queen, the band Queen, because Adam Lambert sings for Queen now, and it was just in my head.
And by the way, thank you, Mike. I always like Mike's corrections. At least we know that he's listening and he's smarter than we are.
Oh yeah. So. But I remember I watched from way back then all the way on, and it was always something great and entertaining. They showed all the cutting. They always had the best of the music acts, and it was just it's still a great show. It's still great to be that old and still cutting edge. And
first musical guest. Am I wrong about this? Somebody can correct me. I think the first musical guest on Saturday Night Live was James Taylor. I think.
I do not remember that.
I think so.
Or it
was Paul Simon. I don't even know why I mentioned it. I watched a PBS documentary about James Taylor and Carole King.
It might have been Paul Simon because he was on a lot.
Yeah, it just made me. Well, he's like best friends with Lorne Michaels. So
yeah, right. Now,
but I was thinking it was James Taylor.
They didn't even show a clip of James Taylor.
Well, I mean, I think he was only on the show once or twice.
I mean, but they did show a lot of clips from that first show. Now, wasn't George Carlin the first host?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they showed a lot of clips from that very first show, and I don't remember seeing James Taylor at all.
I just remember when he was on the show, it was really cool for musicians to think of it this way. He had his guitar, and he had a foot pedal on the floor and a reel-to-reel recorder next to him. And he was playing the song Shower the People, and I don't know if you know that song, but anyway, there's like background vocals. He would sing the song, and when it got time for the people to sing behind him, he would kick the foot pedal, and it would start the reel-to-reel, and those were his background vocals. And then it would stop.
Oh, really?
And then he'd sing the verses, and then when it came up to the chorus again, he'd kick the pedal, and it started again. It was really cool to watch, because back then, that was like super crazy high tech.
Now, did you tape it or no?
Yeah, I have it on DVR. I'm gonna watch it. It was good. Coming days.
They kind of did it in sections, which was really neat. They broke it down as far as getting a bunch of the guys who have hosted it multiple times all together. Then they had. They did a bit of, Saturday Night Live sports, and then they showed a whole montage of all the famous sports people through the years. Then they had the Saturday Night Live music, and then they showed clips of all the huge people that have been on it, Nirvana, and so on down the line. And so they did it in like sections like that. Then a section on the news. The update news, everyone that's done the update. So it was.
You better stop now before I found out that Gilda Radner died or something.
Yeah, right.
Before you ruin it for me.
It was so they did it in sections like that kind of kept it organized, Fred has to go out. We better wrap this up.
Yeah, I think we should. We'll go ahead and wrap it up with the usual. Please share this with your friends. Let everybody know. It's a fun show, apparently, according to the information.
We're back now because Jerry was, Jerry's out of town, busting his butt, working zillions of hours on these big shows. So
that's true. Let's pretend like my life is hell.
Well, no, it's like our schedules. Like by the time I get home, you are done and ready for bed because you got to get up at like 5. So it's kind of difficult, but I think we're in a stretch now to where we can get back to normal here.
We will. So everybody, thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
You will. Share and like.
Right.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.